Your locking pliers slip. You crank the little knob all the way down, clamp them on a rusted bolt, and they walk right off it like they never met. And your grandfather's pair, the pair that's older than you are, bites so hard you need 2 hands to break it loose. Same tool, same shape. You're not crazy. And what happened between his pair and yours isn't what most people think. Mine's the 58. Came out of my grandfather's tool shed, the same shed that 61 Padlock kept locked for 65 winters. And the jaws still meet true, edge to edge, like the day they were forged. There's a stamp on the handle with the maker's name and the name of a town. Not a country. A town. Hold that thought, because the town is the whole story. In 1924, a Danish blacksmith named William Petersen was working out of DeWitt, Nebraska, a town of about 600 people, if you counted everybody. A blacksmith's problem is an old one. You need 1 hand to hold the work and 1 hand for the hammer, and that's both hands gone. So Petersen built a plier that locked. Squeeze the handles, and a little over-center mechanism snaps shut with the grip of a bench vise, and it stays shut without you. This episode brought to you by Fifth Pour, where every bourbon bottle gets its story. Scan a bottle, read what other enthusiasts felt about it, and add your own. Every bottle has a story. Find them all at fifthpour.com. He patented it in 1924 and called it the Vise-Grip. And for the next 84 years, that one small town made the best locking pliers on earth. Farmers clamped them on busted hitches. Mechanics used them as a third hand, a stuck bolt breaker, and half the time as the replacement handle for whatever the real handle fell off of. They got beat on for 30 years and handed down for 30 more. At its peak, the plant employed about 330 people. In a town of 600. That's not a factory in a town. That's a town with a factory for a heart. Now, over the years, the family company became a bigger company, and the bigger company got bought by a bigger one still. And by the 2000s, the name on the paperwork was a corporation, 1,000 miles from Nebraska. The Pliers didn't know the difference. The people making them were the same people, and some of them were the 3rd generation of their family on that floor. Here's the year they don't put in the ads, 2008. That's the year the parent company announced the DeWitt plant would close, and production would move to China. The last day of October 2008, the last American Vise-Grip came off the line, and 84 years of making things ended in an afternoon. 330 jobs gone, out of a town of 600. And here's the part people get wrong. The tool didn't fail. The workers didn't fail. Nobody stopped buying locking pliers. Go look in any garage in America. The company's own explanation was that the move was necessary to stay competitive. The pliers were fine. The promise was just more expensive than the copy. And that's the answer to the question you actually came here with. Quick pause. We make this show because we care about the things people used to do right. So it makes sense our sponsors do too. Captain's Krill Oil is run by somebody who refused to switch to the factory method. The whole industry uses chemical solvents now because it's faster. Captain still extracts krill oil mechanically, right on the boat, the way nature intended it. CaptainsKrillOil.com. Back in a sec. Why do the new ones slip? Because a locking plier looks simple and isn't. It's a spring, a cam, and 2 jaws that have to meet exactly right. And the patent ran out generations ago. Anybody on Earth can have the drawing. The drawing was never the product. The product was the fit. And the fit lived in the hands of people who'd made nothing else their whole working lives, checking them 1 pair at a time because the guy who'd use it might be their neighbor. You can ship a drawing overseas in a second. The 84 years of hands don't ship. One more thing, because it matters. In 2018, a company out of Minnesota bought the old DeWitt plant, hired back some of the same hands, and for a little while, brand new locking pliers were made in that building again. By the end of 2022, it was over. The math that emptied the plant the first time hadn't changed. 63 more people got the same news their neighbors got in 2008. The building's still there. So is the town. My neighbor bought a new pair of locking pliers last fall. They're in a drawer now. He borrows mine. So that's what happened to the last great pliers. Nothing happened to the pliers. A blacksmith kept a promise for 84 years, a spreadsheet broke it in 1, and the only thing that actually wore out was somebody's patience with paying Nebraska wages. Your grandfather's pair still locks tight. It didn't know it was supposed to stop. Next time, on The Last Great, the wrench every American garage was organized around. And what happened to craftsmen in 2017? They knew how to build them to last. They just decided it was more profitable not to. 68 years, still locking tight. Add it to the board, that puts it at 873.